I'm just going to sit here and say that I am immensely heartbroken that we got sniped on Darren Waller, and that's all I got.
That's so sad.
Well, we'll have to do this again sometime and lock up the Exodia stack that just summons a $500,000 payout.
Travis Kelce 101 over Patrick Mahomes.
Now, gentlemen, we have pushed for the number 1 spot. We have not received it yet. We have not drafted in the back half of a draft since we have begun. Derek, do you have a favorite starting spot?
No. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. These drafts go so many, various ways. Considering I think people still are trying to figure out what the hell they want to do in these drafts, that it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, stacking in particular, like the ADP, like if you do, when we were doing the regular big board drafts, future, all the drafts they'll do in the summer, the regular ADP seems to line up with stacks like very nicely for the most part. In these Superflex drafts, like you pretty much have to reach or get guys fall past you to stack up some of these, more premium stacks. And I think that's like a big edge that people are missing in these. Like we know it's good. We do it all the time in the regular ones. And then we get in these Superflex ones, and it's like people don't know what to do. They don't know how to move around the ADP, and everybody just kind of falls in line.
Well, Wecht, it's funny because we were talking about this via text earlier this afternoon, and I told you straight up, if I don't have all my quarterbacks stacked with at least one person, I done messed up. That's the name of the game. I'm looking, and you're constantly like mulling through in your head, and that's honestly where like a lot of these quarterbacks that have super cheap stacking partners that also present upside and rushing are they're awesome. And there's a lot of them, man. Like you could stack Deshaun Watson with Njoku, Elijah Moore late, DPJ. You could stack Mahomes if you get a high pick, and which I don't even know where are we at. I haven't even seen that yet.
1-3.
I mean, so maybe somebody goes Hurts over Mahomes. We get Mahomes and his stacking partners. Hashtag never Justin Ross. Are out there. You knew it was coming, Barrett. But outside of that, like Daniel Jones, cheap stacking partners. There's a lot of different options for guys out there. And even you want to talk about, and I know this is gross, but the Jacoby Brissetts of the world. Washington has good skill players. Ryan Tannehill, I know I've yelled it in the chat when I've been watching these shows. I love Ryan Tannehill. Mm-hmm. There's nobody expensive in that damn offense outside of Derrick Henry. And if they throw more, I'm a big believer in Tim Kelly as an offensive coordinator. So I think they're going to throw more this year. Treylon Burks and Chigakonkwo are dirt cheap. And if you want to take shots on JSN, Addison, any of these rookie wide receivers that maybe they draft in the first or second round, again, super cheap, and we know Tanny has upside and rushing ability.
So Omega is drafting right next to us in this draft. So we're gonna have to be careful with what we say. We don't need the Kadarius Toney.
Bring it, Omega. I'm ready for it.
Omega, touch grass, buddy.
But not so now, who are we taking here?
Show.
To me, there's a pretty solid top 3 guys in Mahomes, Allen, Hurts. I
want to take Fields if we got the option, because again, like that opens us up for a shit ton of late. Yeah, over Hurts.
I think Debro's the guest of honor today, so I'm okay with that.
Put it this way: you're gonna have to pay up for a Hurts stack. Who are you? I mean, your ceiling for Fields goes through Fields.
You can get
his spike weeks. You can get Mooney. You can get Claypool. You can get Kmet. All of them.
I would like Kmet. I get the whole stacking thing. It's just I'm not going to be, even with Fields on our team, I'm not going to be excited to draft Claypool, and probably not Mooney either.
I mean, look, most of his ceiling is going to come from rushing, but if he actualizes a bunch of top 2, top 3 weeks, like the rushing is a big component, but he's bringing somebody along with him in some of those weeks.
Yeah, probably, but I mean, not necessarily. I feel like we're a little too focused on stacks. I feel like stacks are being a little overrated. Like, what's going to move the needle in terms of a championship winning team? It's probably just nailing the right, having the right round 1 player, having the right mid-round sleeper who absolutely crushed, Josh Jacobs last year, Cooper Kupp, and Jamar Chase the year before that. It's like the true power law players. And so having just the overall QB1, and there's a great chance it's Fields just with his mobility. I don't want to force a stack except for Komet, just because I think there's big touchdown upside there, and he's a great value.
So
yeah, I have no problems with Komet, because if the offense goes up and Komet's part of that, they're scoring more touchdowns, and we know like the ceiling where you get from tight ends has to be correlated to not only volume but touchdowns in general too.
The problem with not stacking is, so yeah, it's great if you nail the right round 1 pick, the right late round Josh Jacobs or whatever. When you get into these playoff weeks, though,
that's exactly. I knew Wecht was going there.
All that goes out the window.
Yep.
It doesn't, because a bunch of people are going to have whoever those hit players are, and then it becomes like DFS. Like if you were building a DFS lineup, wouldn't like you're almost crazy if you don't.
I mean, I understand that line of thinking, but like, was there ever a Millie Maker winning Justin Fields stack last year besides Komet? I don't think there was.
We're betting Fields takes the next step with his throwing.
60 yards and a touchdown to Mooney, his wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3, isn't really going to move the needle.
No, that's fair. But what about the 2 touchdown weeks of Komet?
So I like Komet. It's because he's
but what I'm saying
that
is the variance there, though, Scott. Like, what if those 2 touchdown weeks would have gone to a Mooney or a Claypool and it wasn't Komet? Then
I just don't see that happening for 2 guys I look at as, I don't know, middling.
You could say betas. Threats. It's okay. This is a safe space.
Middling deep threats.
Jake, you got Jake Tribby coming after you for the no stacks thing as well.
I'm just I don't feel compelled to force it with for a guy who played on a team that threw the fewest passes in 30 years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but what's the
field stack?
What's the cost that you're paying, Wecht? Like, where are these wide receivers at? Outside of, I'm not talking about DJ Moore because you got to pay up for him. He's a top 24 guy. But at the cost of what? Wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 prices?
Yeah, I mean, even DJ Moore is wide receiver 21.
Where's Mooney
55. Claypool's 81.
Yeah.
So you're not investing a bit, but so the other thing is, if they're passing only 20, not a large amount of times a game, then we already screwed up by taking him 3rd. We've already made the bet that he takes like the Jalen Hurts type-ish leap. Maybe not MVP candidate, but takes some kind of a leap in his throwing ability.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think what happens is we get week 9 or 10 or 11, whatever it was, Justin Fields, when he scored 42.7 fantasy points and then 40.4 fantasy points, where the only rosterable Bears player besides him was Komet.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it all on the legs, and he posts those. You almost couldn't have advanced without him scores.
Do you want to take Daniel Jones here and basically lock up our QBs?
Damn right. Right.
All right. Well, man of honor.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's totally fine to start QB.
I just want to know how many of these picks that I make before Barrett's going to sign off and be like, you know what? I don't want any part of this team. I'm waiting for it. I just want to see if it was going to happen at the 2nd pick, but he didn't say anything. So here we go to the round 3.
You're the special guest. You make the mess and then you sit there with it.
I'll make the mess for the first 8 rounds, and we'll leave Barrett to clean it up for me.
I'm also just surprised.
I'll save us all with my round 20 pick that is going to be a league winner.
Thomas, do you have the ability to kick people from this room? Not that it's going to happen. I'm asking a hypothetical.
Don't you dare mute me.
Well, here's this thing that I like to do for Scott. I have this button.
Nope.
And every time Scott wants to make a pick that's out of pocket, we just
Nope.
Let him know.
All right, so we have
talk again, guys.
We have the opportunity to do the Barkley stack, but are we worried about the franchise thing and rather go like
I think he's going to play. I mean, Barrett, do you want to go another direction here?
I don't really have a strong take. I think this is a really interesting question.
I want to go Barkley.
Too much time.
If somebody leaves it to me.
I mean, nail the stack that you have, right? I mean, Omega said he was taking Daniel Jones.
I mean, it's a quarterback running back stack, so arguably it increases your floor lowers your ceiling.
Unless you see DJ or you see Dimes kind of correlate like Derrick Henry did.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of unique. I mean, Herbert and Eckler correlated.
Because if Barkley gets there, here's the other thing, Barrett. If Barkley gets there, isn't like a massive pass game upside going to have to happen for him too? Not just of like volume on the ground and touchdowns?
I mean, you could argue it both ways where it's like, okay, Barkley has 80 yards receiving and a receiving touchdown, and he's an top 3 running back in the week, and both are, crushing for you. You could also argue, in terms of spike weeks, if
what if he's the
Saquon
wide
Barkley is
receiver too, he's second behind only Darren Waller in targets on the team. Could happen.
Right. I mean, you could argue it both ways.
Yeah. I mean, I think like taking Barkley there also gives us, you have stack equity. You're making the bet that this is an awesome offense. Yeah, you're making the bet that this offense is going to kick ass, and you're making the bet that all the touchdowns go through Dimes, probably Barkley and Waller, and no, you don't really need anybody else out of this offense unless you're going for correlation super late. But I mean, really, that's the bet we're making. And the reason the other thing about Barkley is that now we could, if the draft board falls a certain way, we could just kick RB2 and kick RBs just down the road if we wanted to go hero RB here.
I think that's the strongest argument is you're banking on this offense taking a huge step forward. Just the only issue is, I mean, like I do have Eckler a nice tier above Barkley, but yeah, I think this is an interesting question.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of them, you're worried about contract stuff, so it's a similar conversation for the two of them.
It's kind of a nice leverage spot too, because if you think, we already took Daniel Jones. If we take Eckler over Barkley, we're kind of almost leveraging against ourselves. Whereas now, if we take Barkley, we're further giving ourselves more leverage on the Giants' offense being good, and we're betting that Barkley is just the better pick over Eckler at that turn anyway.
Yeah, so they were massively negatively correlated together. I just checked, but
yeah, but we can have the points come in separate weeks. They don't have to be hitting spike weeks at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes a lot of sense too, in the sense that Daniel Jones, the other good thing is we made an independent bet that he's got a QB2. So he's not like, we're not banking on him to the point of QB1 status. If he's top 10, top 8, he pays off for us. But in the sense of like, we aren't expecting or putting, I guess, all of our chips in the fact that like he goes to QB2, QB3. But if he does that and we have Fields, then shit, Yahtzee. So
this does seem to be a very QB heavy room. So I'm pretty glad that we started QB now, because
I think our tight ends are Waller, Kmet, done.
Yep. Hell yeah. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah.
Done. That's easy.
Omega and Stephanie, please don't take that from us.
Can you look at oh, right. All right. Keep a close to this. I was gonna say pull up quarterbacks and see who our QB3 should be, but
yeah, we can do that. I mean, we know Tanny's gonna be out there.
Jordan Love.
Tanny, right? Tanny's are all right. Tanny's are
say that you're backfilling wide receivers. So like after this spot, we decide we're gonna go running back wide receiver for the next few rounds. Who is I'm trying to see who's in like, because that would be what, round 4? Say we backfill positional stuff like 4 through 6, 4 through 7. Is there where's the last like little tier of viable QB3s at?
I mean, we got plenty of time. Then? Yeah. I mean,
you got Ryan Tannehill sitting there. You've got Purdy is even sitting there late.
Yeah, we're coming up now. So I mean, this top 3 grouping looks pretty. Pollard, Higgins, DK would be the ones I'm most interested in.
Are we punting? Do we take Pollard and we're punting a wide receiver yet another round?
I mean, I'm fine with it. I think you can do it.
Fuck it. Let's go Pollard.
Little NFC East correlation. Maybe it's a week 17.
Maybe we get lucky and they have like week 15 through 17 correlations here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bijan gets hurt and then Pollard's allowed to be the backup.
Oh, Barrett. God damn.
So now we
that's a good combo though. Where do y'all think he goes? I'm curious.
Bijan?
Yeah.
I don't have a good feel for it. I mean, I think we've seen him mocked anywhere from the Atlanta is the one I've been hearing a lot recently, and I don't know how
I could
feel
easily
about
see the
that.
Chargers. Kellen Moore likes to use a 2-back system.
I don't think he makes
Then-
it that far. I think
No?
he's picked in the teens. What is it? Chargers are what, like
Possible.
22-ish, something like that?
21, I think. Somewhere
Yeah.
in there. Thank you, Omega. I love that you don't snipe stacks. That's a person with principles there.
Stephanie says, not unless you snipe mine, then all bets are off. There's gotta
Oh
be-
shit, Stephanie's in here too. Oh,
yeah,
good.
we're
Good for him.
drafting at 12. And Omega says he also would have went Pollard.
Are we on the clock?
We're up again.
Oh shit.
We pretty much have to take a receiver here because we're going to be left in the dust.
I say for me, it's Calvin Ridley, and it's not close. But that's
Really?
just me. Yes.
You don't even want more? Like, you wouldn't look at the stack?
DJ Moore?
I don't think we have to.
They're not. No, I don't want DJ Moore. He's not going to see nearly the volume of
I like
Calvin Ridley.
Amari probably.
Sure, I was going to say Debo, but they're all pretty close to me. I don't think it.
Like who out of those guys do you say like you can make the best case for in your mind's eye that like he could be top 5, top 7?
Probably Ridley, yeah.
Like I look at Ridley in drafts this year, he feels like a discounted Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean he's
Like,
low
I
floor,
have-
high ceiling.
I mean, look, we saw Trevor Lawrence back half of the season put up top 5 numbers in damn near every category that you're looking at. I mean, it's a really, really damn easy case to sit here and build for Calvin Ridley to have 100 catches and 1,500 yards.
Yeah, I mean, what's the last player we've kind of seen take a year off? What, Antonio Brown, and then he came back and smashed, right?
I mean, I heard Jamar Chase forgot to catch footballs when he was a rookie, but
Right,
you know,
yeah.
after a year
Good
off.
example.
Calvin Ridley has had 1,000-yard season over the last 7 years.
That
He
was
didn't
playing
play
with
football
what?
all of
Julio
last
with a
year.
washed-ass
He barely
quarterback.
played football the year before that. New quarterback. You question the chemistry, especially when Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk are on double dates all day on Instagram. I did want to say something about
Well, you have to make your wide receiver 2 in the offense feel good, don't you, Barrett? Like, I mean, you can't just leave him out in the cold. The band's calling you for a double date. You got to answer, right?
yeah, I mean, it's a double date. It's not a triple date. If it was a triple date, I'd say let's draft Calvin Ridley. But no, I wanted to talk about Tony Pollard for a second. I was listening to the Move the Sticks podcast. Bucky Brooks was talking about his friends in the Dallas organization, talking about why they didn't give Tony Pollard more work. They said they just think he's at his like limit of touches, where if he goes beyond that, he loses some of his typical explosiveness. So that's a concern is, Zeke is gone, but it doesn't really move the needle at all. You can say, okay, well, he was awesome despite low volume. That typically regresses to the mean. And then you could also argue like, hey, I mean, like the Chargers said they were going to take a lot off Eckler's plate, but they didn't because he's so good.
That's it.
I'm just saying this is, these are concerns.
Yeah.
My thing with Pollard is we saw him just ball out like a damn stud with only a 48% opportunity share. Like if he gets more, and he was 34th in red zone touches. So even if we're talking like, I don't even need him to get to 70 or 80%. Shit, if he gets to 60, and this dude has been, you could make a damn good argument that Tony Pollard's been one of the most efficient running backs in the NFL over the last like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just, all I care about is like, dude, just give me his opportunity share like close to 60%. And he's got top 5 upside.
He's also not going as RB 4 or 5 like Eckler has been for the past few years. He's RB. Let's see ones. RB 8, RB 9 around there. We took him, so not quite the same draft capital investment. But yeah, there's definitely I mean, he feels like he has a safe floor. Like
yeah,
because even if he doesn't get the work, he's probably still not killing our team.
I mean, you saw the year before that he was RB 30 and he didn't score any he scored 2 touchdowns. So even if you got him a little bit of touchdown regression, probably a top 24 running back. And we're saying, okay, they draft a rookie. So who are they going to use at the red zone? Is it going to be the rookie or is it going to be Pollard? So I don't know. I'm not, I see some of the concerns, but I think the ceiling is firmly there for Tony Pollard. All right.
Does anybody love Garoppolo? I'm fine pushing QB.
I'm pushing.
Yeah, Drake London. Oh, we could
Love
draft
that.
Jacksonville's wide receiver 1.
I mean, I'm not opposed to sitting here and double stacking another offense either. London
I'm sorry,
or Kirk.
wide receiver 2 after Evan Ingram. Terry
London or
McLaurin's
Kirk, I'm fine with either.
Yeah, McLaurin or London. No, we'll take London.
Yeah, at least he has a quarterback.
Jake,
Oh, wait.
Jake wants to know
He
what your
doesn't.
guys' guesses are on Calvin Ridley's betting ROI. Did he hit on any of those parlays? I don't think so. I think that's why he's wearing number 0.
Isn't it like negative $4 million?
It's
What
got
was his salary
I have
last
no
year?
clue. I have no
Is
clue.
0 not a terrible number for an offensive player to wear?
Excuse me, sir. 0 requires a certain level of swag that you have no clue.
You're
about,
just gonna
man.
get mocked all
love
the
you,
time.
but-
Like if he has 0.
No,
catches,
are you freaking kidding?
it's
Hold on.
right there.
0.
You would
Oh,
not
yeah.
wear 0? You think it's
Awful.
bad?
If
I was
I'm
a big
on
0
offense,
guy.
yeah.
awful.
No.
It's terrible.
Barrett, can you
Yeah.
help me out here? Or you
See,
think it's
you
bad
would
too?
know. Only alphas wear 0. It's an alpha.
You
male.
have to be. You have to have a certain amount of swag and alphaness to like wear that.
Mhm.
McLaurin.
Yeah, McLaurin, done.
Jameson
Game.
Williams.
Yeah, McLaurin, Kirk, or Lockett. I think we go wide receiver is just the
Lockett's there too. Yeah.
the overarching here.
Scott does
Either
love
one.
Tyler.
McLaurin gives us an option if our QB3 doesn't work out. We could
but
throw in a late Washington.
Look
QB.
at this wide receiver room. We went 2 quarterbacks. We have 2 stud running backs, and this wide receiver room. Honestly, I love the value of wide receivers in these Superflex drafts.
Do we have to
you could
just
punt it a
log
little
off if Darren Waller doesn't make it back to us?
Yeah, I'm walking out. I'm just
We
walking
just
out.
restart, right? We just
I wonder how many guys do that. Like just the
Put it on
stack
autopilot?
obsessed. No, like the stack obsessed basketball bros. You know, if you just lose, you like I have to get the perfect stack with all the key and then you lose out on that. You're just log off. Try again.
So he luckily when we come back around, the 2 teams that are right ahead of us already took Kittle and Hawkinson. So it's really just he's just got to make it through this.
He's got to just make it through that. Should we have taken him in that last pick? I didn't see where his ADP was.
88. So
It depends on if Lockett makes it
it's a
back
weird
to us.
spot.
Fantasy Football Garage says, I'm loving drafting Lockett around 80 to 85. Haven't been paying up for Geno. However,
I don't think it's that much you're paying up for him, considering the dude was like a top 10, top 8 quarterback last year.
right at the first half, the second half of the season, he kind of came back down to earth. And now there's talks about drafting a rookie, which
But
every
if they draft a
team-
rookie, then he's not playing over Geno. That's probably where they're at. I mean, I doubt
Right.
that's going to happen.
They're
Well, they brought him out.
Seattle feels like that team, and they kind of do this in general every year, but they seem like they're really trying to make it seem like they're into the QBs this year. Like they've been very public, like all the pictures with Pete Carroll and his arms
They
around.
just want somebody.
all
They
the
want to
other
trade back.
QB. They're
That's all it is.
being very open about how much they're looking at all these QBs.
They're probably just scaring Geno into like working really hard in the offseason and not getting complacent to like, look, we rescued you from where you were. Don't forget that. You're 1 pick away, buddy. That's got to be what it is.
I like Seattle to take another step forward. I was looking at all the draft picks and their roster and stuff like that right now. Like they feel like such a dark horse. Like they could make a big run. Like I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they smash the draft again this year. You could be. I mean, they honestly could have a Super Bowl worthy roster.
What would you think?
To say that.
What would you think?
That's a hot take.
What would you think about if Tom Brawley at Fantasy Points was promoting a bet the other day of them potentially drafting Jahmyr Gibbs? What would that make you think of the offense and Kenneth Walker specifically?
That would make me want to dive into the passing game more, because if Gibbs is getting work, their passing rate, their pace is probably good. I'd fade Walker. I'd probably just fade the backfield in general and just dive into their passing game more.
Yeah, because they don't have really other running backs on the team.
Thank you, Stephanie. Love you too.
Homer's not on the team anymore, right?
Yep.
And neither is blanking on the other guy's name.
DJ Dallas.
DJ Dallas.
DJ Dallas.
Oh my god!
Son of a.
In one spot, he would have.
We're cursed. We're just absolutely. God doesn't want us to be millionaires. Clearly,
I said it. I was like, shit. Should we have taken Waller the last round? All right, I'm pulling a Barrett. I'm off of this team.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
out.
done.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
I'm just done.
Have fun,
Screw it.
Chris.
Announcing
All right.
the team, Chris. We
All
have
right.
to, we did a
I'm
few
gonna go
weeks
pour a
ago.
drink. Y'all have a good night.
Let's pull this team from the abyss. I'm not leaving you. I'm here with you. I will never leave you, Chris.
All right.
I don't even have any bourbon in here right now. I don't even know what to do right now. Like this is, I'm double fisting an energy drink and a protein shake right now. I'm not even
You're hitting.
I'm not even prepared for this level of tilt right now.
You're hitting back today.
Yeah,
Do we take
Energy
Ritter and
drink.
stack him with Drake London very quickly, or
Who
Marquise
else
Brown, Mike Evans?
Nah, screw that. I say
Marquise
go
Brown.
Marquise. Go Marquise. He's incredibly mispriced right now. As soon as Hopkins goes and he gets traded, Marquise Brown is going to be a wide receiver 2, as he should already be valued as.
So what are we looking to do at this tight end position now? I mean, obviously, Komet is still an option.
We're gonna have to go.
Oh, I want Kadarius Toney. I don't think we've picked him up once yet.
No.
Oh, let's pick.
No, we
Let's
got
pick
robbed
Tony.
the one time we had Mahomes. Right.
What are the chances he goes to pick in front of us?
What's the rest of
Again?
the tight end market look like? Wecht.
Don't do it.
I mean, plenty of late round options.
I think we just take 3 tight ends and we take Komet, and then you take 2 other guys that could, like, I love David Njoku's ceiling. You think the Browns are going to pass more? I like Freiermuth because you look at the splits with Claypool gone. Again, we could go Chig. We could go Dulcich. I think you just go volume. You just that's it.
I didn't listen to a word you just said because I want Kadarius Toney.
Oh, I'm totally down for
Oh,
Kadarius.
okay.
I was screaming at you fools to take him the other day, but no,
I
he had to
know,
auto
I
pick some
know,
shit.
Jake was saying the thing about Ritter is that he's a lock to improve by 5% of the year. He might be catching home by 2032.
The only problem about Toney and Tannehill is they typically go in the same ADP range.
Thomas, didn't you call him when did you call him Desmond Mitter?
Desmond Mitter. Yeah.
That got me, dude. That I'm never letting that go.
You gotta mitter up, right? You gotta mitter up.
Oh
Chris,
man. Hey, well, you know what?
No Trey Sermon in this.
To that point, we could take Taylor Heineke super late and pair him.
Yeah.
And just say that
that's a good
Ritter
option.
falls on his face and Heineke gets the job.
Continues to fall on his face, I believe, is the
Ritter's not
appropriate
good.
I think I'd rather take one of the Washington QBs over Heineke.
Yeah, I mean
though.
Brissett. We could take Brissett late. Again, like we're talking about cheap stacking options, man. That's why I love a lot of these quarterbacks. You can get the, and honestly, if Brissett plays well, then that's a premium option because McLaurin's going to be his number 1.
Right.
If you're saying Brissett plays well,
Although, is the ideal outcome? I guess no. That because if Howell starts the year, Howell is bad, that means McLaurin's probably getting out to a slow start. But is that
why
actually
don't you
good?
just? I mean, could we just double stack Howell and Brissett super late?
You could. I'm just trying to think through. But
I don't think
Howell
that's
being
loaded
bad might lead to McLaurin not being on too many teams that advance, and then maybe McLaurin is cheaper, and then he has Brissett at the end. And I don't know. What do you put the odds that Howell or Brissett is the starter week 1? I mean, they've been pretty open that Howell is the starter, but I don't. Ron Rivera might get to week 1 and say, "I'm not doing this."
All right, I haven't put this take out in the space until. Well, I guess we'll go with now. There is a non-zero chance that Jacoby Brissett could be the ugly version of Geno Smith this year. A lot of his deeper metrics are fantastic, man. Like he was 12th in PFF passing grade. He was
better than Deshaun Watson.
12th in big time throw rate. Like there are parts of like looking at Brissett's deeper numbers, and I don't think it's even close that he has more skill players around him now. Jahan Dotson, Samuel, McLaurin being the trio of wide receivers over DPJ and Cooper.
Who ticked off Stephanie? Was it us? It's not us. It can't be us.
I don't think it was us.
Yeah, I really don't want to be flipping a coin for my QB3. I think I would like to take Tanny.
You want to take Tanny?
Well,
Yeah.
Tannehill's gone.
Stephanie
No.
grabbed Tannehill.
Bastards.
In the last round. Yeah.
Well, can we look at quarterbacks then? We probably don't have a choice but to do
everybody's
that.
a coin flip at this point. Yeah.
Omega's saying guy beside me took Dotson. Better watch him for Brissett.
Megan helping us out because he knows we're not paying nearly as much attention to the draft board.
Omega's a monster in these best ball streets.
What's our build so far? Like we were at now, we're at 2 QBs, 2 running backs.
Back, 5 wide receiver.
Where's Komet at?
I don't think we take the QB here unless you want to take Levis, but I don't.
Can you click on tight ends?
I'd rather take a tight end here, like
I think
Freiermuth
would kind of be.
We should probably go Freiermuth, Komet.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm down with that.
Dulcich goes pretty late. That's surprising.
Let's see. So we pick at 118, 123. So 142 is literally right on the money for Komet, but we have to hope that he makes it all the way back around.
I mean, I'm fine with taking him around early. At this point, it doesn't really matter.
That's true. Definitely.
Like at this point of the draft, when people are like, "Oh, it's reaching and stuff," I'm like, "It's really not."
Especially
like,
this
talking
time
about
of
going
year.
from like 6th round to 4th round or some shit like that, where your draft equity is higher. Then I get the argument. But when you get into these later rounds, like, no, you're just splitting hairs, man.
And this time of year, like ADP is going to look nothing like this.
Yeah. You get a Superflex best ball draft that drops closer to week 1. These ADPs are going to be totally different too. Komet maybe goes higher or something of that nature too.
Who were some rookies you're really trying to draft, Derek?
So the wide receivers are all super cheap. I mean, the problem is like outside of like who could be difference making bets. Like I think JSN, you can make a decent case of like he's underpriced versus overpriced. But like as much as we've seen rookies like just hit the ground running and offer like fantastic ceilings, I think that even if you go JSN where his current cost is, if he has like an Amon-Ra St. Brown type of like finish to the season, then he could be a difference maker. And people are like, oh, he's kind of pricey right now. But it's probably JSN for the wide receivers because I don't see a lot of guys outside of like that are really going to be massive guys. I mean, maybe you're just buying into draft equity, but for me, if I'm going a lot like rookie heavy, it's either I'll take Anthony Richardson because I think like if we knew he was starting, his ADP would automatically be going up. Like if we knew that he was starting week 1, outside of like him getting hurt, like he could be total just terrible as a passer, and he's probably still a top 12 fantasy quarterback just because of his damn rushing. It doesn't matter what he does as a passer. So I'll take Anthony Richardson and build out like some draft scenario stacks with him. If I'm going the quarterback route, it's really Richardson or nobody there. Maybe I'll take some shots on Stroud as a QB2, QB3. Running backs, I think, is really where I'm focusing a lot of my exposures to rookies right now because all of the draft capital is totally up in the air for these guys. Like outside of the top 3 guys, we have no really good finger on where any of these guys go. So it's like, who could I see being a 1A in a committee, or who could be like a 3-down guy if everything goes right, or he gets round 2 draft capital, round 3 draft capital. Like one team pays up for a guy and drafts him in round 3. And then, because it happens every year, guys, like somebody gets drafted in round 2 or 3 and we're like, holy shit, where'd that come from? Usually it's the wide receivers, but it could be running backs this year. Like I have a good bit of Tajay Spears. I have a good bit of Roschon Johnson. I've gotten on here and it's almost like a tired thing, but Evan Hull is all over the place. He's, by the way, top 30 visits with both the Vikings and the Packers, just to throw that out there for Mr. Evan Hull. That's really where a lot of the rookies, I think, like if I'm diving into one position pretty heavy right now, it's all the rookie running back ADPs, because as soon as the draft happens, their ADPs are going to move, and a lot of them positively if they go round 2, round 3.
What about the tight ends? Because I know usually we're against that, but this class does seem to be different in terms
this
of
class is
tight
pretty
end
damn
talent.
baller. For me, it's Kincaid, Mayer, or Laporta. I don't want any part of Darrell Washington. He couldn't command targets in college. I don't think he's going to command a heavy target share in the NFL. Laporta is he's awesome. Honestly, like if it's not going with Kincaid, I love him because Laporta is like top 50 multiple people that are plugged into the NFL, their draft. By the way, we're on the clock. Who are we going with here?
Just take Brissett here because I know this guy has Dotson.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, what do you think, Scott? You want to go quarterback here?
Yeah, no one is really
Unless you
standing
want to
out
take
in any
Mooney and hope
position.
Brissett makes it back around.
We could do that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
yeah.
Let's see what happens.
He's got 3 QBs, so
I can't see a lot of. I mean, Brissett drops a good bit.
Fantasy Football Garage.
Why?
Love Hole going to Minnesota or Green Bay? Combine favorite after he housed every time.
Okay, he's got that dog in him, man.
He's got that dog. Phenomenal.
So after this pick, we're clearly going to have to get some running backs on this team. So I mean, we definitely got 2 guys that we like a lot, but why? And I don't even know how much more we need to do at receiver.
No, I think we could just shut off receiver.
Unless there's a guy super late that we want to, but we're definitely going to have to slam some running backs. So I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't talk too much about guys we like that are coming around. But
screw it, man. I mean, I think at this point, I'm fine with it. But, I mean, I'm fine with talking the table. If we get sniped, we get sniped.
What do you think about Abandakanda? That was a guy that
I was just about to tell you to star him. After the way he tested, I think he's a possible guy that could go round 3. That would not shock me at all, considering the dude almost broke Raz. Yeah, Spears, Jalen Warren, star him too, because he's 1 injury away from being a 3-down back in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, it's really just
like Bigsby at all? I know Scott doesn't really like Bigsby.
I'm not a huge Tank guy. Like, Tank is okay. Tank's not great. I wish Tank would have tested better.
Yeah.
We don't have to take Tank. Like, for me, it's either you're taking draft capital shots with these running backs, or you're trying to buy into like a guy that's because like I look at Jalen Warren and he's a premium handcuff that's never priced as a premium handcuff.
Yeah, he's Samaje Perine from last year.
He's Samaje Perine. He's James Conner of yesteryear.
Yeah,
all of this. I mean, all those things, and we already have like a decent sample of. He also had, I think it was like 5 or 6 RB3 weeks, so he's offering standalone value possibly because he's just better in the damn passing game than Najee. So, like, I think there's a possibility where Jalen Warren has a standalone role from week 1.
Any of these older vet guys you think were like Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Cordero Patterson?
I think if you're going that route, you buy into good offenses. So it'd be Mostert with Miami. You're basically just trying to, if things hit, buy touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, Mostert's probably good most weeks if he's just healthy and on the field.
Yep.
I mean, we saw it last year. Him the best.
Yep.
I like the idea of grabbing rookies instead of veterans here, just because, Ryan Heath our newest writer had a great article on this where rookies, you just draft a bunch of them and odds are 90% of those picks, their ADP rise like a round and a half by September. With veterans, it's sort of the reverse. It's okay, Jeff Wilson looks good right now, but watch Devin A-Chain goes there. What happens to Wilson's draft stock?
What if Abandakanda goes there? Right. They're going to take a hit. Yeah, I love that, Scott.
So I've been pretty out on A-Chain, but seeing him now falling closer to like the Roshan Johnson tier of running backs makes him, I think, a little interesting.
Dane Brugler said
that was
what do you say, Scott?
There are teams that view him as a wide receiver, which would just be such a fantasy cheat code.
Yeah. I asked
if he gets reps as a
too.
wide receiver, because if they see him, I mean, he could be stuck behind somebody in the slot.
I don't know that I'm thinking Curtis Samuel. I think I'm thinking like Reggie Bush, Darren Sproles, like Sean Payton targeting a guy 120 times while only giving him like 60 carries.
Yeah.
My only problem with that evaluation of A-Chain is he's got tight hips, man. You see it in his running style. I don't know if he would be very. Yeah, I'm down with Roshan. I don't know how good he would be as a wide receiver. That's my only problem with him.
Yeah, for a guy who's such a freak athlete, why did he average 5.4 yards per reception last year?
Yeah, he's never been like super efficient in the passing game. Like if you look at even yards per out run, Zach, you can make an easy case Zach Evans has been better in the passing game in college than Devon A-Chain, and that's kind of crazy because I'm not an Evans guy either.
So Jalen Warren went off.
Of course he did.
Kendry Miller. We also need a third tight end. I don't feel great about Everett or Irv Smith. Mayer, we could probably.
I can't
like
believe I'm
Irv Smith.
saying this. I kind of think Jasicki's interesting, and I've
Oh,
hated Jasicki.
Tell me why, Scott. I got to hear that.
All right,
I've
well, you
hated
got 10
Jasicki
seconds.
every year of his career. I just think he's massively overrated. But Belichick said he views Jasicki basically as a big slot. I guess that's who he was in Miami, but they lost Jacoby
Well, Bill
Myers.
O'Brien was at Penn State whenever he was at Penn State, unless I'm wrong on that.
No,
I didn't know that. You might be right.
I don't think that's right, but let's see.
Hold up. I gotta
Get
look
on
at
that
it.
Google.
Now you're going to make me go
We
down.
took
college
Jasicki,
football
though.
reference.
So
2012 to 2013. Yeah, that was before his time.
Jasicki's been. So yeah, he just finished his rookie deal, right? So that's.
Yep.
Yeah, he came into the league. Oh, yeah. So Jasicki missed that. First year at Penn State, 2014.
Okay.
Zach
Then I'm
Kuntz
just
was
totally
there.
making that up. Yeah, which then Zach Kuntz had to leave somewhere and go to be the next Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
He had to go to Old Dominion to sow his Gesicki oats.
Have you heard? Did Brett tell you his comp for Will Mallory at the Senior Bowl?
No, that ought to be interesting.
So I loved Will Mallory. Like the
Yeah,
first 2
I'm
days-
sure he popped in the model, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Oh,
Not really. He was
okay.
tight end 6. But at the Senior Bowl, he stood out to me as like the biggest freak athlete there. Everything prior to the catch point was elite, explosive route running.
Yeah,
At the
problem
catch
is he
point and
can't
after,
catch shit.
kind of sucked ass. But anyway,
Yeah.
Brett's comp for him was Mike Gesicki with a nut sack because he plays so soft. So like that just made me like him so much more. I had Jim Nagy on the podcast today. He said he thinks Will Mallory has more upside as a receiver than Michael Mayer.
I think if you're looking at like the underwear Olympics, sure, but as far as like real football acumen,
Well, he's a big trades guy coming from Seattle, but and you might have just didn't
I mean, that's another one of his senior
didn't mean it the
moves,
way I
so
just said it
get
just there, but I thought that was at least interesting to pass along.
Yeah, I mean, I love getting Nagy's insights, especially like before and after the Senior Bowl, like because I know he dives back into their film and stuff, like even after the Senior Bowl is concluded. Where are we at here? Oh crap!
So we
got
need a
3 running
whole-
backs.
We need a whole.
I think we
RVs.
need some handcuffs who could be league winners if the starter misses time. Anyone stand out to you?
Chuba Hubbard. I don't hate. I mean, Sanders is
I just don't
never
think the
been.
Carolina offense is going to be very good.
No, but I mean, not a ton of these are.
Wait, who was the guy we wanted that we missed out on?
Jerome Ford. Last time.
That was last time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I like
2
Ford.
rounds ago. 2 rounds ago.
I had Kendra Miller check.
No.
Oh,
veteran.
Jalen Warren.
Okay, what about
Jerome Ford is basically the same guy to me.
Yeah,
I mean, a little less upside.
the guys that stick out to me? If McKinnon goes back to KC, you can make a case there. Jerome Ford stands out. Dearness Johnson, if anything happens to Etienne and Hasty's not the back.
I can see Dwayne McBride going to like.
Yes, I was just about to say. Dwayne McBride is. He actually Who did he have a top
James
30
Robinson?
visit with? He had a top 30 visit. Maybe it's the Saints. No, I don't want any part of James Robinson. I think James Robinson's probably a cut candidate.
Yeah, New England's not adding a blue chip.
Josh Kelly. Yes, Evan Hull. Josh Kelly makes some sense too. If
Josh
Eckler
Kelly's
holds out,
dust.
or he was pretty decent last year.
No.
Boston
No.
Scott, if you want that corollary, he's going to score.
Oh, if he plays the
I mean, with our
Giants,
Giant stack,
Giants.
that's amazing.
that's
I mean,
that is
back.
amazingly Galaxy brain, and I'm here for it. That's fantastic.
We'll leave it there for around 20.
Oh
pick,
god, that is funny.
We're getting into real.
Kenny McIntosh makes some sense too, dude.
Who's the Justin Ross of running backs? Is it Xavier's Valaday?
Oh, good lord.
Oh my God.
Tyler Beatty?
Been in the league, but on
Tyler Beatty would be the Justin Ross of running
Tyler.
backs. Tyler Beatty would be it.
Can't
really,
make
I
it.
He
actually
had that
kind of
one
liked him.
touchdown last year. I mean, more than Justin Ross, so I don't know if it counts.
I'd be fine with Jermichael Hasty. I mean, really, we're just buying into offenses, is what you're doing with handcuffs. So
Scroll all the way to the
Hurts
top
gets
again.
some legitimate run time. If
Sean Tucker has upside. Leonard Fournette, like let's say he.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, he
I
could
could see
land on
Lenny.
a team. Yeah.
Lenny is gross as shit, but like, what if he goes to the Bills and he's the early down thumper?
Right.
Like, I mean, it's possible because you know that he's probably just waiting. Like, he's not going to sign before the draft. After the draft, he's waiting for an injury, and then injury Lynn walks in. Gets his gut off in about 2 weeks of training camp, and he's ready to roll. 3 yards in a cloud of dust and everything with
Can
him.
you scroll down our team for a second? Yeah. How many rounds do we have left?
That was our 17th, so 3 more picks.
3 more.
So running back and what else?
Two
wide
I'd say
backs.
two more running backs, and then you can another receiver.
Look at quarterbacks because I'm just kind of curious here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even.
Because I think and I'm throwing this out here to the collective here. What you're putting in, what you go 4 quarterbacks, or your last pick is a quarterback. If they get a few starts or make your lineup, what's the chances they offer more utility to your team than any of the dart throw guys late? Like, say Mike White makes a few starts and he just win, of course. But Bailey Zappi, if he makes a few starts,
Yeah, Heineke.
if we got Heineke back here, Kyle
I think
Trask,
that really does nothing to your roster.
think so?
I mean, if it happens in the playoffs, maybe there's no predicting that. Like, I don't want to bank on guys where you're hoping for just 3 spot starts and they're not even good to begin with. Like Kenny Pickett had 1 game over 16 fantasy points last year. That's ideally not cracking our starting lineup.
And yet, all you wanted to do was draft him for weeks.
Perhaps some of the reasoning with loading up on running backs per Chris's article is because of that. A guy goes down, you can get those ideally around the playoffs.
Lenny is minus 160 to show up to training camp and immediately end up on an episode of my 600-pound life.
Jay coming for the throat, man.
That's off the top rope, baby. That's Macho Man.
Guy wins 1 Writer of the Year.
We could do
award.
Hodgins. Yep.
Yeah.
Hodgins.
Why
not Renfro?
Because Derek was dropping some mad
Renfro.
crazy Hodgins statistics pre-show.
Yeah, Scott, do you want to know who led
Harris.
everybody?
Yeah. Oh.
I know a small sample, but led all wide receivers in route win rate and win rate against man coverage?
Where are these stats coming from?
Player profiler.
Yeah. Well,
You
who?
can still get some stuff from the fantasy points. I mean, come on, Wecht, throw me some data here.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if these came from Brad, I'd be all aboard. But
Do you want to take Hodgins here?
Hodgins, though.
I would much rather have Hunter Henry. At least he's been good once in his career.
We're gonna take
Hunter.
a 4th tight end.
And he's a starter.
You
Projected.
mean Renfro?
Actually, yeah.
You mean Renfro?
I mean,
Yeah,
Campbell's starting over Isaiah Hodgins, right?
I doubt it.
Omega
they gave him
Hodgins.
how much money?
I
All right,
want
we're
Hodgins.
taking Campbell. We're taking
Hodgins.
Campbell. We took Hodgins in another draft. We're gonna mix it up.
Did you just
and
put
take
Paris Campbell on this roster?
Yeah,
Why the hell?
I mean, at least Isaiah Hodgins is.
Do we
unique.
I mean, are we getting points for cardio? I don't think you get points for that here.
Do you get points for
God, you're
IR
gonna make me go
designations?
full Scott Barrett. Forget this team. I can't do
They've been very open about wanting to add speed to that team, and Campbell.
How many deep receptions does he have in his career? 2, including
none.
college.
speed in the training room on his path to recovery.
Oh, jeez. That was
The Giants are doing the same thing they've done for 4 years, where they just have 3 starting wide receivers that are all inexplicably slots, and add Darren Waller, and there's a 4th. It's just like, what are you doing?
Well, I
Couple
have
real
a
smooth offense.
different take on it, just that so they have confidence basically in the slot. So they don't have to rush Wandell back. I think one of those guys is starting, not all of them. I think Slayton and Hodgins will start on the outside. If they take a wide receiver in round 1, it's probably Slayton that starts, maybe, or maybe
We
it's
can
Hodgins.
take Hodgins and Campbell. That is allowed.
Okay.
I'm not against that.
Why
Yeah,
not?
I mean, if you're talking about varying spike weeks, again, we already made the bet that the Giants' offense has to be good,
Yeah.
or we're dust.
And then we pick our favorite running back.
Nagy hyped up Chase Brown today.
Yeah, I do. I kind of like
can't.
Chase Brown.
Oh,
I'm a
he
little
hyped
worried
up
about
Kenny McIntosh even more. And my model also liked
Who
him
said
more.
that?
Nagy.
I can't go Chase Brown.
Yeah, no, me
No
neither.
way.
But he
No way
hyped up
in hell.
McIntosh more.
I
My model
like
also liked him.
McIntosh because McIntosh's receiving profile is fantastic.
Right.
If he hits, he's going to be involved in the passing game.
Just
Right.
against Canadians on this pod. I get it.
Like I don't really care that he didn't test fantastic. I mean, like, he tests good enough. Like,
Well, he tested terribly, but
his 10-yard
for
split was
some reason
70th. His 10-yard split was still in the 70th percentile, unless I'm wrong on that. Pretty sure.
I think that's that. I don't remember the 10-yard, but I think that's pretty par for the course with scat backs. Like they're really slow, really unathletic, but all have really good 10-yard splits. James White. God, what did he run?
Ooh, probably was not pretty. Yeah, his 10-yard split was 70th percentile. Like if you're telling yourself an upside case scenario as far as tackle breaking for some of these guys, like the 40-yard was garbage, then I'll look at the 10-yard split. Gives you at least a little bit of hope.
Yeah. I mean, we need any of these guys to just land. Landing spot is going to be the biggest.
I mean, really, but we're also making the bet that Saquon and Tony Pollard are never coming out of our lineup. Like those are your two top RBs. They smash, and basically whoever hits besides that is just filling out the flex.
Yeah, I think we definitely want another one though. I mean,
I don't disagree.
Like another receiver isn't going to do much for this team.
No,
tight
because
end
they're probably
is
not.
fine.
They're not cracking the starting lineup.
Right.
We probably could have stopped with receiver at like not taking Campbell and Hodgins and taking 2 more shots on running backs. To be honest, if we would go back and kind of do this team over.
I agree with that, but it just being part of the stack, I think, makes it at least
I don't hate outside of stack equity is because the other part of this tournament is you're only starting 2 wide receivers, so you have to, I think like per your article too, it also makes more sense to lean into running backs just because of that too.
Yeah. Well, you can start up to 3.
Yeah.
With the flex, but you only have to start 2. All right, I guess we're taking McIntosh.
Sounds good to me.
All right, that'll do it.
Barrett, so what do you, how much are you invested in this team? Are you taking half of the proceeds if we take down the contest? You 15%? Like I need a percentage of how much of Scott Barrett wants of this team.
I don't know. What do you guys think is fair? If we win, I get 80%. If we lose,
no, I was gonna. No, that is not how. No, anything under 15% is very viable, sir. I'll say that.
Justin Ross is not going to go in this draft either.
I might have to move.
Weird. He goes undrafted. Holy shit!
I feel like if we win, we have to.
Oh, I lied. He went with the last.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow.
For the brand, saving Scott's brand.
This guy's gonna win it all too.
I love it.
Oh, he did. He did the Mahomes.
Who does Scott get to thank for saving the brand here? Hold on. Who took it? Was it Stephanie?
No, it's the other way.
Okay.
I was like, if it's Stephanie or Omega, I'm calling foul.
He went full KC. Mahomes, Sky Moore, MVS, McKinnon, Justin Ross.
Here's my prediction, guys. Justin Ross does nothing week 1, does nothing week 2, does nothing all the way until week whatever
15?
the week before the championship
Playoffs.
week. The championship week, Mahomes rides the bench. Ross is starting. Sean Buckley throws him 6 touchdown passes.
God, now I was just about to say it. Now I have to look up because if we're gonna go, you're going full gal brain. I mean, shouldn't the person have drafted the backup quarterback for KC?
I mean, he's gonna win all the money that week.
I need to look, Scott. I need to look at all of your personal best ball drafts because if I do not see this Justin Ross love fest on every,
we need an exposure check before week 1.
Watch, I'm just trying to sabotage Chris's ROI.
Now I just need to know if Chris. Oh God, I can't even say that last name. It's
Buckley.
Casey's QB3. Oh, well, yeah, we could go Buckley. I just wanted to bring up this person who's
the ukulele. That's what they called him in college.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Chris, for one time for the people, can you let them know how this draft ended before we switch back here?
So we QB Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Jacoby Brissett. Running backs are Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, Roshan Johnson, Jerome Ford, Dwayne McBride, Kenny McIntosh. Receivers are Calvin Ridley, Drake London, Terry McLaurin, Marquise Brown, Kadarius Toney, Darnell Mooney, Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins for the Giants stack. And tight end is Pat Freiermuth, Cole Kmet, and Mike Gesicki.
So we managed to get a little Kenny Pickett love in there for Scott.
Praying for Scott's return on Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett throws 30 touchdowns, 15 book it are going to Patty Fry.
Oh my God! If he throws 30 touchdowns, I'll shake my head on air. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Somebody clip that. Can we get that clip?
I'm in control of the clipping, sir, and I will not clip that. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Yeah, clip that. I'm gonna end up divorced and left out in the cold.
It's okay. The live recording stays out there in perpetuity, Thomas. It's still out there, okay?
Be deleted.
That's okay. I can get off right after this, and I'm just gonna screen record it. You know,
Oh my
it's okay.
God. Folks,
Don't worry.
if you enjoy drafting and want to draft with us next week, we will be right back here. Same bat time, same bat channel, 7:30 Eastern time. You can go to Underdog Fantasy. If you're new to best ball and want to join in on the online sensation, you can stop playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure and join us in the draft room using promo code FantasyPTS, where they match your deposit up to $100. That's a lot of drafting that Underdog is going to cover for you. Derek, if you've never played Hello Kitty Island Adventure, you have no idea how addicting that game is. I implore you to do so. Also, folks, in the comments, please leave a comment on what you feel. I always ask every week to Scott what the worst pick of the draft was, and he stopped paying attention after the 5th round and can never answer. So I am leaving it up to you all. Everyone viewing right now at Fantasy Points YouTube, please leave a comment below. What was the worst pick? What was the best pick? Let us know below. Maybe we get you featured on the next episode. Gentlemen, final thoughts before we get out of here. Derek, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh man, this was fantastic. I feel like we could have easily gone like 2 or 3 more drafts. And kept it running. You know, I mean, Thomas needs clips. We just kept drafting all freaking day. And I mean, Wecht, you still got a few dollars left in that bank account, right? Like we can get 2 or 3 more entries here. No, but seriously, guys, this was fantastic. Absolutely tons of respect to everything y'all are doing at Fantasy Points. So absolutely great to hop on this show. Wecht, you know I love you. Scott, you know I tolerate you. This was a fun time, guys. I'm just going to sit here and say that I am immensely heartbroken that we got sniped on Darren Waller, and that's all I got.
That's so sad.
Well, we'll have to do this again sometime and lock up the Exodia stack that just summons a $500,000 payout.
Travis Kelce 101 over Patrick Mahomes. That's all I heard.
Oh no, that would send Chris. I think Chris would be the one pronouncing the team.
The Kelce 101 Justin Ross 2012 stack is you just log out. You just need to make 2 picks and the rest will sort itself out.
See, this needs to be put behind a paywall, Thomas. Why are y'all giving this out for free?
Hey, you know, look, we're for the people. Derek, we're for the people over there at FantasyPoints.com. It's what we do for them, for better or worse. But only comment on the better, not the worst. Because, you know. Anyway, that's going to do it. Unless Scott, Chris, final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, just thanks, Derek, for coming on.
Thanks, Derek.
Love you guys.
Fantastic. And as I mentioned, once again, you can join us again next week right here, where we will once again be fighting against Scott and his love for Justin Ross. Remember to check on your loved ones. You never know if they need it. Stay tuned until next week. See you then.